now. Okay, welcome everybody who's joining us for this week 5. This is our second week into the intermediate video editing. We are excited to have you guys here. We've had some really good projects that people have put up. Joel and I attempted to get the video details to you earlier last week, but you know, it was just, there's so much we have to put together. However, great news today. We're going to show you what we put on the agenda for you. So let's quickly run over to the agenda and show you what we have for you. If you guys tried to do this on your own, then all the better, because once you see this, you're going to be so happy. First, let me share my screen. And you guys have the agenda. I sent you this email. If you've forgotten where the agenda is, you can just click on this link in your email. And down here, let me move these pictures out of the way for me. Okay, down here we have, I'm getting a binging. I gotta pause this. I'm gonna turn off this speaker. Hold on. Joel had connected his phone to one of our speakers via Bluetooth, and so every time he texts, I get a little tick, 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 tick. All right, so down at the very bottom of this agenda, you can see what we have here in week 5 notes. The assignment to edit and produce a video in video editing software was first to download and install a video editing software. And Joel and I decided to run through 4 of them. We chose Camtasia, Filmora, iMovie, and DaVinci Resolve. I did Camtasia and Filmora. Joel did iMovie and DaVinci Resolve. And so really quickly, pros and cons to these. Before we say that, let me just show you what you have here. If I click on Filmora, I need to share my audio. You guys can hear. Control Shift, hide, share audio, sound. All right, so now when I go to week 5, we've got this Filmora one. You're gonna like it. Hi, we're going to show you the basic editing features in Filmora in order to produce your piano performance video. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you do is and I'm not going to show this today, but I am actually I walk you through step by step how to get the video, how to open your videos into the bin, walk you through step by step how to do everything. The easiest way to do that is to look at the WAV file forms and make sure that they all line up with each other. I like to move my cursor to okay, so if you want just an obvious point, just a little help on showing exactly step by step how to use it, how to produce the whole video. This video is 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Let me go ahead and go back to the other videos. So this one, Camtasia, that one I believe is 15 minutes. Joel did iMovie and he did a more thorough job than I did.
Welcome everybody.
35 minutes. But that being said, iMovie, Joel, I think you talked about how to get the files that we already sent and upload those as well.
Yeah, so in that Google Drive folder that we shared with everyone last week, we
That's
put
right
the
here
files
on the number 2 where it says 3 video angles, and you open that up. This is the one he's talking about.
Yep, in there are these different camera angles. So we have one called overhead cam, we have one called gimbal cam, and one called front facing cam. So those are 3 camera angles. And then we also have the audio recording. So Aaron pre-recorded the sound. And so in the 2 tutorials that I created, the one for iMovie, I show you how to use, those 3 clips in there. Now, just a heads up on iMovie, and you'll see this in the tutorial, but iMovie only allows you to do 2 camera angles. So I talk about which 2 camera angles I chose and why I chose those 2. And then DaVinci Resolve is the other one I did, and you can have as many camera angles as you want there. And so I used all 3 for that one.
Okay. Now there are some of the teachers who actually were brave souls and went ahead and just jumped in and did the videos. And they went all the way through this. They downloaded the software, they dropped the videos in, they dragged the videos to the clip on the timeline, they lined them up, they made the cuts, they added some effects and some transitions, and then they exported it to YouTube and uploaded it right to this button here. So that was your assignment. We didn't expect anybody to actually get that far until we actually finished making these 4 tutorials for you. However, I believe we did have a couple of people who put in their videos, and you can always get to it by just clicking on this link and see who put videos in. So let's see. I think Emmy, Joel, do you want to talk about this one? That's a cool transition. Look at that.
Yeah. So she added a really cool transition here at the beginning. That's a nice effect.
You add measure edit?
What was the question?
That's all right. I'll wait.
Okay. I mean, first off the bat, that's a really cool intro. I like the fade. She took the angle from above the keys, which I thought was really cool. Quickly went into the other camera, put a title on it with a flare. We'll watch that one more time because it's so impressive. Good job. I'm going to stop there. We didn't talk a lot about clipping this, but she actually clipped out a good portion of the bottom part that had my wrists in it and all the top part, and she just left everything black. Now remember, this is your creativity. You can do whatever you want on this. I actually like the effect that created. She could have done anything she wanted, but that's a cool effect. I'm listening to the audio. Emmy, are you in on this call?
Hi, yes, I'm sorry, I cannot. I'm doing something right now, so just a voice, please.
Emmy, the audio sounds super clear. My guess is you actually used the audio clip that I added.
Yes. So
okay.
the iMovie instruction video, somehow I was able to watch it. So that's why I followed everything.
Oh, so you got it on out of the folder, I think.
Yeah.
Because I loaded it on Drive a few days ago, I think.
Okay.
That was extremely helpful.
Okay, that's really cool. And so Joel actually did teach how to cheat with that audio. And I'll just let you know now, the reason that audio sounds so good is because it's not recorded from an acoustic piano. It's actually recorded from a Yamaha Clavinova. And so you don't have all the air noise and all the, we're going to talk a little bit about audio today and why it sounds better if you do it digitally. Super, super interesting topic, but I noticed that right off the bat is it sounds really good. I like your cut right on the beat. Actually, it was right before the beat, which is cool. Very effective. Good cut. Ooh, a quick cut. I like that cut. Those are nice. Did you do a fade at the end? Let's see what she does.
Wonderful.
And oh, not a fade. A different effect. Okay, that's excellent. Okay. So you did a great job on that, Emmy. Was it a fun project?
Yes, and then frustrating at the same time.
Okay, good. How long do you think it, Emmy, are you sharing your video?
No, I'm not. I'm Moon.
Do you want to share it so we can see you or?
No, I'm actually driving right now. So
Oh, okay.
I rather not.
Very good. Okay, so tell us, you said it was a little frustrating.
Yes, the instruction video that I was following was fantastic. The frustration part was I had very difficult time choosing one file and then drag.
Same thing.
Okay, all of the files moved together.
Joel, can you speak to that?
Yeah, so sometimes it takes a little practice to get used to when you're selecting clips on the timeline. Making sure because you can have one clip selected or you can have multiple clips selected, and when you move it, it'll depend, it might affect multiple clips. So getting a little bit used to just selecting the one clip you want to move back and forth. And usually there's an outline on the clip when it's selected to help you visualize it, but it just takes a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
Do you think if you get stuck on something like that, Joel, is YouTube your best resource? Just type in like how to do this, how to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of these types of questions that come up, as an example, it had been a little while since I used DaVinci Resolve. And so when I was making my tutorial, I had to refresh on a couple of techniques. And so what I did was jumped onto YouTube and just did a search for, how to do such and such on DaVinci Resolve. And, you could find a dozen videos or more that show you how to do that. So YouTube can be a really great resource if there's something very specific you're trying to figure out how to do on your program, and search for it that way.
Okay, I think now's a good time to talk about, since some people have some different ideas of different software, what's the best software to start with? What kind of depends on what you're looking for, wouldn't you say? Let me share my screen again, go back to the agenda, and let's just talk about what you want to invest in for your video editing software. Okay, so you can see on the agenda, we have these different software up here: Camtasia, Filmora, Adobe Premiere, which works on Mac and Windows, Power Director 365, DaVinci Resolve, iMovie Mac, Final Cut Pro for Mac. What do you use? A lot of times people get used to one software and they don't want to learn another one because, well, they've invested so much time in figuring out how to drag the video or the shortcuts or whatever. And so they don't want to do it. And now I've been using Camtasia quite a bit. And at first it was a little tricky to learn, but every time I did a new video, I thought, okay, I want to add something new this time. And so I'd go to YouTube and say, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And each time I did a video, I learned something more and I became more and more familiar with it. Well, I've not used Filmora. And so I actually tried it out before and it wasn't as user-friendly, I thought, as Camtasia. However, it's probably just because I'd spent more time in Camtasia than in Filmora. So they're probably just as easy. I just got frustrated because I'm like, the things I learned were a little bit different. So to make this video, I did what Joel did. I had to look back at YouTube and say, how do you do this? How do you do that? But it was a really good project for me because I learned how to use Filmora quite a bit better. The other thing that I noticed was because I was used to using Camtasia and I knew how to do certain things, I spoke the language of video editing software, that it was easier to learn Filmora because much of it is the same, a lot of it. In fact, all these programs, a lot of what you do is the same. They just have their own little quirks. Why do I like Camtasia over Filmora? I will say it is because of the green screen capture and more capturing your screen. So if I want to do a screen capture and record my computer screen while doing whatever, Camtasia makes it much easier than Filmora. Even though you can still do it in Filmora, they do like a second video. Like a lot of times I like to capture my face talking over the top of another software or another screen. And they do it in 2 windows, so I can really edit it much easier in Camtasia. You can't do that in Filmora. So I tend to like Camtasia for that reason. Now look at the price there. The price difference is quite a bit. So $249 compared to $99. A lot of people are like, I'm never going to record my screen, or you know, for what I do, I'm okay with not doing that. I'd rather spend the $99. Some of the strengths of Filmora is they've got a lot of pre-made, I guess, effects and that sort of thing. So if you want to play with effects, Filmora has a lot that you can offer.
Hey, Aaron.
So, yes.
So, man, we wish you guys did this back when we were looking into what to use, and thankfully we finally connected with you. And we kind of put off getting Camtasia because it's so expensive, and we tried every single one, and we landed on Filmora. And we had a lot of difficulties because we do split screen with the keyboard and the visual of the face and the content that's on the screen, the on-screen content. Maybe there is a way to do it in Filmora, but I'm just saying that
There's not.
Yeah, we never could find it, and so for whatever purposes you have, like, it's worth it to get Camtasia. At least for us, it was because of what we were trying to do.
Yeah, it makes sense for what you guys were doing because you were wanting to cut a lot of tutorial videos. So if you're going to go that route, Camtasia is the way to do it for sure. Yeah, good point. Thank you. Joel, can you quickly talk to us a little bit about your experience between DaVinci Resolve and iMovie, pros and cons?
Well, let me start with iMovie. iMovie, of course, one of the biggest pros is if you have a Mac computer, it's free. So
Yay.
that's obviously a big pro.
A pro and a con. You got to have a Mac to do it.
You do have to have a Mac, but if you've got the Mac, it's free. So that's a pro. The biggest limitation you'll find with iMovie is that when it comes to camera angles, you can only have 2. And in the tutorial I made about this, I explained that. And I also, in our project, we had these 3 camera angles from Inspector Gadget. So I kind of talked about which 2 camera angles I chose and why I chose those 2. There are some ways to kind of get around that a little bit, but it becomes a lot more work to do it. So if you're trying to just edit very simple videos though, and you happen to have a Mac and you're not trying to get very fancy with it, then iMovie is a great option. So there's that.
It's more
Now,
simple to use for sure.
it's very simple overall to use. Yeah, it's much more user friendly. So that's definitely a big pro. DaVinci Resolve is a professional level video editor. So there's pros and cons with that. The pro is that it's there's a lot you can do with it. The con is that because there's so much you can do with it, it's a little, I'd say, considerably more challenging to learn how to use it. It's there's just so many options in it. So in my tutorial that I did, if you watch that one, again, DaVinci Resolve does have a free version, which is really great as well. And it will run on Windows or Mac. So that's a big pro.
Those are 2 big pros right there. It's free for Windows and Mac.
Yeah, they have a free version and a pro version. And the free version is very powerful. Like you can do a lot with the free version, which I do like about DaVinci Resolve. Once you get into really advanced editing stuff, then you probably would want the paid version. But even then, the paid version is only less than $300, which is still, I mean, not much more than Camtasia is. So I would probably just recommend DaVinci Resolve if you, I mean, either if you're not intimidated by something that's a little more complex, or if you have the idea that, hey, maybe my video production is right here, but in the future I want to really bring that quality up to a high level, then it's probably worth learning DaVinci Resolve.
And you've got a tutorial on how to use just the basic features of it. So just start there. I mean, just watch Joel's video, just do the basic things, produce several videos, and then just add a piece here and there.
Yeah.
Can I make
Okay.
a suggestion?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion of one that's mid-price actually between Camtasia and Filmora? Is the ScreenFlow, and it's powerful. It's really powerful. And I mean, you know, just kind of playing
You want me to
around.
add that on the doc
Please
here?
do. I'm telling you, it's a really good program, and I think
Okay.
it's like $169 for a year. Then you get a media library where you can put in a lot of different things. There's sound, music, and everything in that.
Is it one
So-
word,
I've
you know?
used it.
It's one word. It's one word. ScreenFlow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really powerful. It's good and pretty intuitive.
And so I will go ahead and add that onto that. We'll just grab an icon here,
Mhm.
copy that image.
And Joel, the iMovie, we found that that's really great for students who are sending recordings. Like if they live virtually, they don't live near you, and they're sending recordings of their performances. It's really user friendly for beginners, right? So if
No
they're
surprise on that.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, I
one-
would agree with that. And they even have an iMovie for your iPhone you can use, which is kind of convenient. If you know, you can literally shoot it and produce it and edit it right on your phone and then send it in. So if you're just doing something really simple, then you know that's also really nice.
Okay.
ScreenFlow's 150.
150. Thank you.
Someone asked about Final Cut. Joel has used Final Cut. He got it for
Yeah.
Pianomarvel.
Yeah, Final Cut Pro is also, I would put it in a similar category to DaVinci Resolve. It is a pro level video editing software. And it's great. I've used it a lot. It's a little, I'd say a little more user friendly than DaVinci Resolve, but if you're on a Mac, it is for Mac only. But it's kind of their pro level video editor, and it's for $299. I think it's a good price. The other one we didn't talk about there is Adobe Premiere. That's the third one on the list. That one is also a pro level video editor. Again, lots of
And
options.
it works on Windows and Mac.
Works on Windows and Mac. Now Adobe's doing kind of more of a subscription model these days. So yeah, I think around $20 a month is what they charge. So, you know, it depends on, you know, it really starts coming down to personal preference, because Adobe Premiere, very powerful. You can do a lot. Same with the others. I do like the fact with Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve, it's a one-time payment if you're getting the pro version, and it's not an ongoing subscription. But if you're using Adobe products a lot anyway, then Premiere could make a lot of sense for you as well. So,
Sorry, there's so many choices.
well, we're just
kinda have to-
scratching the surface really with
Yeah.
these ones.
And there's hundreds of them out there. These are some of the big ones. I honestly am a very big fan of Camtasia because of how easy it is to use, and like everything I've wanted to do for piano studio and producing videos, you can really do it in there. And so that's my go-to right now. I'm not opposed to learning more. I like to learn more, but when I got to get a project done, I go to Camtasia. So somebody had asked, oh wait, we have another Let me hide this thing here. We had another video I wanted to show you. Cheryl Norman submitted one. And if we can find, where did that go? Here we go. So Cheryl Norman had an intermediate video she submitted of one of her students. So let's take a look at that. And this isn't the clips we gave. Really cool thing is she did this on Camtasia with the free trial. So it has a watermark. So she didn't pay for it, but she was able to do the project just to see if she really liked it and learn how to do it, which is cool. Switch to another camera angle. I hope Cheryl's here to explain how she did some of this. She got her in the mirror. I like that. Okay, let's talk about that video really quickly. Cheryl, can you tell me
Nice
the different camera angles? How did you get those? I see this one. I see this one.
Do you want me to tell you? I had the one camera inside of a ring
Is that this angle here?
light, the ring light. You know what I mean? And you can
Yeah.
set one iPhone inside there, and
Yeah.
that was the one that was pointed that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
And then the other iPhone, I was moving over her head right there.
Oh,
and
that's a
then
moving shot. I like that one.
That was the moving. I had the one that just was stable inside the ring light. And then I
Who's
moved
holding this
around
camera?
with this other one. What?
Oh, so there's only two angles here. You came around the backside right here with that same one.
Yes.
Okay, so it looked like three angles when it really was only two. I like that idea. That was clever. And did
so-
you notice you caught yourself in the mirror?
Yes, I noticed that. Not a good thing.
No, it's cool. I like those are kind of things that happen by accident that can be great memories.
You know, so Cheryl, the first thing I noticed when I saw the clip here is that I really like overall how you did your lighting. Even that very first shot, if you go back to the beginning, Aaron, even though you've got this bright light coming through the window, it doesn't make the rest of the shot super dark, which normally that would happen. And so I think you did a great job of compensating for that by getting more light over on the right side of her face, so that you can still see her clearly, even though that bright light's coming through the window. So that was a really excellent lighting job.
Yeah, good job on that.
No, it's the light. I got the light at Best Buy. It's I can't remember the name of it, but it's got
It's the
the
ring light.
circle.
Yeah,
It's called what?
it's a ring light.
Yeah, ring light. And I really like it, even for lighting anything that we do with the musicians.
Yeah, it was a great job.
It's really-
Cheryl, you are to be congratulated. This is really fine work.
Congratulated. I thought it was pretty amateurish.
No, it's really good stuff. I mean, it's your first project you've ever done with video editing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I only have two iPhones in the house, so I can only use two.
Okay. Well, that's obviously you could do some really cool stuff with two views. It made me wonder how you got that third camera angle. I think Thanks for revealing that trick. The thing, how hard was it for you to do this project? Was it very time extensive to learn how to get in there and use Camtasia?
Yes, lots of time.
Yeah. Now that you've
And-
done it the first time, do you feel like the second video would go faster?
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, absolutely. The third time even goes faster, fourth time goes faster. You've just added a neat tool to your repertoire of things that you can do in your studio.
Aaron, is Filmora easier?
I would say it's about the same.
Okay,
I
So
definitely
whatever
prefer Camtasia.
but if the money situations works better for Filmora, then it would be similar to Camtasia.
Yeah,
to use.
you've got a month to test it out for free still. So I would just keep using it for free. And then when we get into more advanced video things, you'll find things that we use in Camtasia you can't do so easily in Filmora as well. So don't go out and buy anything just yet,
Okay,
unless you need to produce some videos right away.
no,
Okay, so just hang in there. There's somebody else put in a video, which I really wanted to see. Pat, if I open this, it looks like
Oh,
it says videos unavailable because you made the video private.
oh,
So you can go back into that video, Pat, and you can change it from private to public or
I thought I-
unlisted. Either way, if it's unlisted or public, we can see it with the link.
Oh,
But that's a great lesson for people when they upload their videos. It asks them how they want to share it. And if you might make it private, the only one that can see it is you.
I thought I checked it. It's not for kids.
Yeah, not for kids is fine, but that's not the private setting.
Oh, okay.
The private
what-
setting comes later.
I go
And
back in. So you didn't
Yep.
get to see it.
yeah, how to change a video from private to public. I can show you really quickly. You just have to go into edit.
That's
Or you can just YouTube how to do it. See this edit button? When you click edit, it allows you to go, oh, something went wrong. It allows you to go in and change that.
Hey everyone.
Okay. So
and
Pat had asked a marvelous question. Oh, by the way, your assignment this week is simply to get in there now with the resources we gave you and make another video and be creative. Produce another video with using this software, whatever you've chosen. We gave you these 4 tutorials so you can watch step by step how to do it. It'll be much easier this week with those 4 tutorials. Again, you're allowed to use these videos that Joel put into this folder here, or you're welcome to use your own videos like Cheryl Norman did. We'll go ahead and just kind of watch and see what you guys did next week and give you some tips and some things. You're also welcome to go beyond what we showed in just these 6 steps that we have. There is one thing that Pat had asked, and I want to show you a quick thing. Maybe this would be a fun project for you this week. If I go to the video project idea sheet, this is right down at the bottom of your spreadsheet. Down here, it shows making better resources, making better piano videos, part 1, making online duets fast. Let me show you this really clever clip that'll allow you to do a video online.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension.
Did you
But
know
no,
that?
by
Okay, skip the ad. Today, I will show you how to perform a duet with yourself or make a duet video online with a friend. So this whole project took me about 20 minutes from beginning to end to have it up on YouTube. The piano on the right, that is the secondo, and the piano on the left, that is your primo. So let's take a look and see how this is done. So first, from beginning to end, we want to have a finished product uploaded to YouTube in less than 20 minutes. We're going to have to see how to synchronize both videos, upload to Drive, edit the videos in an editing software, export it, and upload it to YouTube. So here we go. First thing you'll see is I set my cell phone camera on a tripod.
One, set, go.
One of the tricks to doing this is you have to line it up with your partner. So with this one, I actually put on a metronome. And this metronome you can see is actually scrolling sheet music. So I don't have to memorize the song. I can just follow the sheet music. But it's perfectly in sync with the metronome, which means when I do the other part with the metronome, both parts will be lined up. So I don't even stop the video. I just pick up my camera on this boom stand mic, move it over to the other side, and I'd move it over to the other side so that we can have opposite facing videos. That way I can have my pianists facing each other. Notice also my audio. I'm using an earpiece, and that's so that I can hear the metronome, but the camera can't hear it.
One, two, set, go.
So this is the primo. Again, you can use a number of software for a metronome with the sheet music scrolling. I'm using Pianomarvel. It's really easy to get to. Just go to pianomarvel.com and start a free trial. And then in the library, you'll find thousands of songs that you can use. This is one of them called Star Wars Duet. You can even upload your own sheet music into Pianomarvel, so it's really versatile. Now I'm almost completely done with my filming. That's all I needed. One take, one video for both parts. So next step is I got to take this recording and upload it from my phone onto Google Drive. So let's take a look how that's done. You just click on share, click on drive, and then away it goes. You just wait for it to upload. Right now it's preparing. This will take a few minutes depending on your internet speed. So while this is uploading, I think I'll just walk over to the computer and get ready for it because I'll be able to access it from my computer in just a minute. Now, if you're doing it on an Apple, you can airdrop this to your computer. If you're doing it on a Windows machine, you can just share it to Drive. You can also share it to Drive if you're using a Mac. All right, it's uploaded, and now I will go check and see what I have on my computer. So let me just open a window here and share my screen. Open Drive from Google, and then just do a search for the video that you uploaded, and then click on it, and then go over here to the menu and download it. Click on download, click download anyway, and then it'll download over here if you're using Chrome. You just open it up, and then you have to open the editing software, which I'm using Camtasia, which I really, really like. You just drag this over into your media bin, drop it there, and then take it over into track 1. Next, I'll start trimming. So I don't need this very beginning part, so I'll just highlight that and trim it out. And then I'll just drag it over to the beginning. And now you can see these audio files down here. They tell you when you're playing it, so it's really easy to see what part of the video you're in. I don't even have to go look. So all I do is find the spot, and then I'm going to take this tool over here, which is a split tool, and then I'll drag this on top of the other video. Now, this is the whole point of this video. I want to line these two videos up so that they are playing together. And if you notice these little spikes here, all you have to do is line them up and your video is done. And because I recorded it with a metronome, then I know that they're all going to line up all the way through the end. So next, I just take and each of these clips, I want to just shrink down a little bit and trim the parts that I don't need. So this is a little trim tool I'll show you right here. Click on the trim and then just trim off this part. And then this video here, we'll want to go back out of the trim tool. After that's done trimming, let's go to this tool here and we'll just change the size. And you'll probably want it about half of the screen and the other video be the other half of the screen. So with this video, make it a little larger, and then I have to trim off this backside because I don't have room for it. And then I need to zoom in a bit. So let's just go back to the size tool. Oops, that's trim. I got to go to size and zoom in. And that's it. Your video is basically done at this point. So now I have to take and just trim off the end here. So let's just make it so they end together. And everything looks good to me. So let's go ahead and save this project. And save. And then over on the right side, this is where you export it. So we're just going to click on this button to export it. Now you could export it right to YouTube or to your computer. I'm going to do it to my computer and then show you how to upload it from there. Let's just go ahead and do all the default ones. And now it is exporting. I'm going to come over to YouTube, log in, and then go over to, it's almost finished. Give it just a couple of seconds. It's now done exporting. The next thing I will do is search from YouTube for that file. And it saved it in this folder over here. I'll just grab that video, double click it, and it's starting to upload. At this point, you can just name it, and then you can put in just a quick blurb or whatever, pick a thumbnail, choose not to share, or that it's not for kids, and then click on copy this link. Over here, you'll click on make. Hey, I'm going to stop that just a second. Pat, remember you didn't pick the visibility right? This is where it is. You got to either pick unlisted or public. Public, so anybody can see it, and then finish. In moments, it will upload to YouTube, and you will have your video done. So super, super easy. I hope that was helpful. Again, one of my favorite things here is that we have Pianomarvel, which acts as the metronome, and I can see the sheet music, so I don't have to have it memorized. And then the editing software that I use is Camtasia. Super simple. You can have a student upload a video from their house, and you can sync them up together, because you really can't do this if you're trying to sync over Zoom or any conferencing software because of latency. This is the way around it. Get really good videos. I'm going to show another video that talks about how to improve your audio. I look forward to seeing you at the next video. All right. So let's go ahead and stop my screen share, and you guys ask some questions about what you just saw.
Yes, how do you where do you locate that particular skill on what software? You're using Pianomarvel or what?
Yeah, so what I did, let me just share my screen and I'll show you how that works. So if I click share here, hide this view, I'll go to pianomarvel.com. If you don't have a Pianomarvel account, you can create one. I got to log out of the student's account. You can create a free account, or you can just log into your existing account. And it's nice because it's not just a metronome, because if a metronome, you skip a beat, the rest of your song's going to be off. But if it's showing you the sheet music, then you know exactly where you are. So if I click on, let's say I want to do let's say arabesque, for instance. and I'm doing a recording of that. I open it and I hit the assess button, then it will
Set,
play the
go.
music. And I can set that tempo to whatever I want. I can do it fast if I want.
Oh, okay.
Set, go.
Okay.
So that's how that one works. And then I just had the computer on my piano so that I could just read from it. And I knew the timing would be exactly the same because I was doing it with a metronome at a certain tempo. If you're playing a song that you can't play with a metronome, say it's got some rubato in it or something, there are different ways to do that, and we won't get into that until we get into the advanced video editing, which is in a couple of weeks from now. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I have a big idea.
Okay. If you haven't used it before, you can go back and watch that video from your, let me just show you again where that is. Let's see. Back on the agenda.
The agenda, okay.
Yeah, everything you need is on the agenda. There's just so much stuff on here. It's kind of hard to find. It's right here under video project ideas. You can click on that. And then you'll see this resources, making better piano videos. This is under part 1, making piano online duets fast. So you can watch that video again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we wanted to compare some acoustic versus digital sound. Joel, it's let me ask, should we save that to next week or should we go ahead and do that now?
I think we may be running a little short on time to get into that right now.
Okay, maybe we should just save some time for questions from the group. Yeah.
I have a question, Aaron.
Okay, let me stop my share screen. Okay, who had the question?
I do, Pat.
Uh,
On Camtasia, does it show you though? It shows you the numbers at the bottom, so you know exactly how to line it up, right? It's easy to line up the things on Camtasia.
Yes, you can do it by the number.
So I was looking for some numbers to help me.
Yeah,
line it up.
I actually don't use the numbers that often. Let me show you how I do it. So if I'm in Camtasia right here, are you looking at these numbers right here in the middle of the screen?
Right here, the top of the track 5. There's a bunch of numbers. Yeah,
You're talking about which one?
the numbers right here where you have the timeline there.
So the
So
timeline
is that
number.
22:28? Okay. And you'll notice when I go from 22:28, it jumps to 23. So actually it's frames. There's actually 30. So the way they count those is these are the minutes. And then Joel, what is that? 28 frames per second, right?
So it depends on your clip, but usually it's like 20, it's usually like 30 frames per second or something like that. So this one might be 28 or
Yeah, so these are each frame.
Yeah.
Oh,
Frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
each
7,
frame
8.
is like a picture.
So that's 23 seconds and 14 frames.
well, that means frames on the second number.
Those are frames, yes.
Oh.
And so now I'm at 24 seconds, frame 1. So you can think of it as 1/30th of a second.
There are
When it
30.
gets to 30/30ths, it jumps to 25 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So when you zoom in really close, you can see how long there's one frame. There's another frame, another frame. It'll go each frame at a time.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank
That's
you.
a great question. Like a lot of people don't know how they count those frames.
I couldn't count anything in my iMovie.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to zoom in really far to be able to edit little minute changes to make sure the timing is exactly right.
I have a quick question.
Great question. Who's up? Is this Valerie?
Yes, yes. Okay, getting back to the splitting of the tracks. Are we dragging the actual clip back or are we dragging the whole clip? You see what I'm saying? So that I think that's the question and the problem that.
Yeah. Maybe I can address that, Aaron. So
yeah, do you want me to open something up so you can talk through it then?
Sure. Yeah, pull up a clip if you could. And yeah, that's a great question, Valerie. So the short answer is what we want to do is we want to trim a clip without moving its position in time in most cases. So for example, if Aaron were to click just in the middle of that clip, like let's say that lower clip there, and he just starts moving his mouse around. So Aaron, click like in the middle of that clip.
Right here?
Yeah. If he starts clicking and dragging, you can see the whole thing is moving. And a great reference is the audio waveforms you see there. You can see those are moving. And so that's a good sign that you know you're moving everything. But if Aaron puts his mouse right at the beginning, you'll see that now when he moves, the audio forms aren't moving. So what he's actually doing is he's trimming the beginning of that clip. And he could do the same thing at the end of the clip as well. If he puts his mouse over there, you'll see there he's dragging it and shortening it. But everything in the middle is staying in position.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool about this is when you click on this, it's like you cut the track, but if you wanted to keep more, it didn't delete it.
Yeah.
It actually will let you just keep dragging, back more of that video clip. So I really like this. Filmora is a little more difficult because I haven't figured out how to take the front side of the clip and drag it like this. Because it starts doing what you said. I drag it and it just drags the whole clip along, and then my timing's all misaligned.
Right. Okay, that was good. That's what
That answers that question.
Yes.
Okay.
Aaron and Joel, I have a question about if you want a virtual background and not a real background when you're playing, what is the point at which you have to choose that virtual background? Is it in the initial videotaping or later on in editing?
Let me share with you a video where I did add a virtual background to it. It's kind of dorky, but it gets your point across. And I'll answer that question. Let me share my screen. Back on the agenda, I have a really good example of that. Okay, so on the video project idea, when you open that, you just watched Making Online Duets. Let's see, if I go to the Star Wars one at the top, it's an overhead. I actually put in a virtual background here, you can see. Hey, yeah? Do you want to do Star Wars? All right. Let's do it.
Morning, Casey.
How are you?
Doing okay. How are you doing?
Okay.
Now, this is the very first time I did one of these clips. I did this whole thing just as a learning thing, like how is it possible? What can I do with it? And I just took the background screen and I did that as a screen recording. I captured it right off of YouTube. I had an overhead camera on my keys and then one on my face.
Keyboard is nice, nice lighting.
I don't know, like if you could count how many keys does a piano have? I think in this particular one, I've got an 8-octave keyboard. Looks a little long there. So, and you can see the color is different from the floor. I didn't catch the same lighting, but I did learn some really cool things on how to do that. So Elizabeth, you had asked if you want to put a different background on, that gets a little bit tricky and you have to do it with green screen. So have you done any green screen before?
No.
Okay. We're saving green screen for the advanced video editing feature of the software of these. And so we're going to get into that in, I think, 3 weeks on how to do that. Any specific questions you'd like to ask about that beforehand?
How do you get green?
How do you get what?
How do you get green screen?
Can you see behind me? I have a green screen on right now. Let me spotlight my camera. How do I spotlight me? Okay, spotlighting. All right, so you can see my screen behind me. I'm using a green screen right now. I don't actually have a laboratory of stuff behind me, you know, a $6,000 lab or $600,000 lab. So if I stop my green screen right now, I will choose no background. And you can see I just have a big, ginormous screen behind me. If I move my camera around, oops, that's not a good idea.
Green screen.
No, that's his real.
Hey, can you still hear my audio?
Yeah.
Okay, I was afraid I messed that up. What can
So
you?
Aaron, that's an actual green screen, right?
It's an actual green screen.
How did you get that on?
On the agenda, I show you everything that I bought
Okay.
with green screens and stuff, and the
Oh.
prices on those and how to do them. It's going to be really, really cool. You can get just a real cheap green screen and do some stuff with just it's like on a stand, kind of how your little ring light is. You just move it around and it just needs to be big enough to cover the subject behind you, because you can crop it down, which we're going to do. And then you can get rid of anything that's green. So don't wear a green shirt or you'll be half invisible. And then you'll see things behind you, like right through your chest or whatever, wherever the green thing is. And so you can put videos on top of other videos. And you've probably seen where I put myself talking about some things over the top of my computer screen and I'm demoing things. I use a green screen and cut everything out. And it's kind of a little bit tricky because you have to look at the lighting. You got a front light and back light a green screen if you want to get it really good.
So I don't like my hairstyle. All I do is dye it green.
And then you'll be bald.
Somebody else's face in.
Yeah, you dye it green, you'll be bald. Yeah.
We have 2 questions.
Yeah.
One you may be addressing next week, but Michelle had talked to me about, like, if you're memorizing a piece and you play it memorized, but you want to add, say, the accompaniment from Pianomarvel.
Cami, who are you? I'm going to spotlight you really quick. Who are you listed under? I can't find your name.
Piano.
Piano. Panacea. Let me go ahead and spotlight you so people can see you talking. All right, you're on.
So yeah, she was just saying like if you are performing something memorized and you want to add like accompaniment, like say from Pianomarvel, for example, my question is, how do you sync that? Like, do you play with a metronome or like, there are some of my students that are doing a quartet. All four of them are playing the Snowflake song.
Yeah.
I think it's called Snowflakes. And they're asking me about editing and that, and I'm thinking anyway. So Michelle was like, "Yeah, you can play it memorized and then add the accompaniment." But I'm like, "How do you sync so that you're staying on
So,
beat?"
Cami, what I was suggesting is that they record the audio. So they're using Pianomarvel to record the audio. But when they record the video, you're not using Pianomarvel. So it looks like, it's memorized and it's all cohesive and looks great, but they still were able to use that timing of Pianomarvel as kind of their metronome, as well as sheet music if they need it.
Now that only can happen if you have a song that can be recorded to a metronome.
Yeah.
You don't want to use it on a song that has rubato or ritardando at the end. So there is another way to do that. Again, what we're talking about here is pre-doing the audio. So you always do the audio first. That's the first step of your project. Once you get the audio finished, then you have to sync the performance to it. In other
So you're
words,
essentially, when you record the audio, you have to play, or I'm sorry, when you record the video, you have to play the audio so you can hear it and play along with your audio recording.
so the way we do that is we put a speaker in the back of the room, and on the speaker, we got a click track. It goes 1, 2, or it goes tick, 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 tick. And then it has the audio, the finalized audio performance. And I play along with that. It's like lip syncing.
Yeah, you're lip syncing with a piano.
You're going to get rid of the piano sound, and you're going to keep the professional audio that you've already pre-done.
Because I was like, how in the world can you make that work?
You just get rid of the second audio.
So you're actually listening, but
You're
it's
listening and syncing to it. And if you mess up, here's the cool thing. If you miss a note, and Elizabeth was asking about this, can I get rid of my notes? You miss a note, it's no big deal. You take a face shot and replace it with the spot where you miss the notes on the fingers.
Yeah.
Use the second video. And it makes for recording videos so nice for students, because if they're so panicked, I missed a note, I want to do it again, missed a note, you're like, it doesn't matter. Let me just get a different angle and we'll probably catch you playing that part correct.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot. The last recording I did, I had just learned it a few days before, and I was reading, it was sight reading really still. And we had Pianomarvel going at the same time. So this would make a lot more professional sound.
Yeah.
But
another really cool thing is you can coach your students while they're performing. Because you're going to get rid of the audio.
Yeah.
Like somebody asked me, like, how do you get rid of the chair sound that's rolling around?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering when you
Because I'm getting rid of all that audio. So you can even talk to the student and say, hey, make a nice crescendo. Give me more. Give me some more. Yes. Now don't forget to smile.
Awesome.
And so you're coaching them while they're doing the performing, because you're going to get rid of all that audio anyway.
That's great. We haven't tried that yet.
No.
And then Brandon had a question about Camtasia.
Yeah, either for Joel or Aaron. Occasionally when I download an audio clip, there will be little chunks missing. And if you zoom in on the audio track, there's just like a rectangular void there where the sound wave is gone. And I don't know if anyone's ever had that.
I've never seen it.
He's been back and forth with customer service on Camtasia.
Really weird. Here's one thing you can do to solve that. You can do a screen record in Camtasia with the audio, like turn on your audio record too, and just record it off of, where do you have the audio playing? Like in Microsoft, just an audio player. You can just record it that way.
Okay, sometimes it could be something I've recorded and then I, import through the media option. It doesn't really matter where it comes from, the audio. It just sometimes something
How do you know
happens.
it's not a problem with that audio? Is it because it plays nice on your phone or somewhere else?
Like I'll record it, and as it's recording, it's smooth. But
Okay.
when I go into the actual Camtasia audio track, just little chunks are missing here and there, and it's random. I can re-record it, and sometimes those chunks will show up in different places. So maybe it's a computer issue on my side.
It might be, because I've never seen that.
It could be. I've seen it in Final Cut where at the end of a track, it like the audio information is there, but for some reason it just stops playing it, like it is like some kind of rectangular void. And honestly, what I do is exactly what you do. Like I try to make it work. I try to sometimes like re-import it, and then if I can't make it work, I just do another take. But I think a good thing you've already probably done, but you could maybe possibly even like just restart your computer. Sometimes a computer, I mean, you've probably already done that, but I don't know. That's a weird thing. Like I think it could just be a glitch in the computer.
What it could be also possibly related to is your audio resolution. So for example, you can have audio files that are recorded at 44,100 hertz. You can have 48,000 hertz. You can also have, 16-bit audio or 32-bit audio. So it would maybe be worth checking and seeing like what audio like resolution you're getting, and if it's like an MP3 or a WAV file. And try maybe experimenting, see if you can do like different, like where are you getting the audio files from? You said is that just ones you're recording, or?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like a soundtrack that I already have, like an MP3 or something that I will, just upload to Camtasia, just directly put it in with the media add option. And it's from different sources. That's why I can't pinpoint if it's one thing or another. Maybe that checking the audio resolution is the next step.
It's worth experimenting, because you might find that if you put 16-bit at 44,100 hertz might work just fine, whereas like other audio file types might struggle a little bit more. And I can't say I've seen that issue specifically in Camtasia, but that would be one of the things I would check, is like try different audio file formats and see if there's one that seems to work better than others.
Alternatively, you could cheat like I showed you and do a screen capture and capture the audio off of another player.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. So literally all you're doing is you're doing a screen recording with Camtasia, and you're just going to your audio player and hitting play. It's going to record your screen, but it's also going to record all that audio. And then now it's already imported into Camtasia, and you can actually in Camtasia say separate audio, and then you could delete the video part, and then you'd have the audio track that way.
Yep. That's actually.
And with any luck, it'll be there.
And for those of us who have virtual students, Aaron, you made a video of the recording and recording tips, and there were like 7 tips. I know that you're doing this for teachers, but it's also helpful. Those videos are also, I've been sending them to my students who are recording.
That's perfect.
Because it's a quick thing. There's a visual example. And so, some of these videos you're creating, they're also great to share with your students who are.
I'll encourage you to share these with your students as you're teaching them. Like, don't give them all of them at once. Give them to them as they need. And that's why we're recording this. So you have these resources and make your life much easier.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. And I'm excited to see you guys' next week's videos. Now that we have all the resources in there for you and showing you how exactly step by step, how to create and edit these piano videos, I want to see some of your own personal videos. Feel free to use the 3 clips that we added. Joel is the only one that talked about how to replace the acoustic audio with the digital audio. I didn't actually cover that because I was saving that for the advanced video editing. It's a little tricky, but it's so cool. Like, you will love it when we get there.
Aaron, I
And
have one
they make your
question.
videos sound so good.
Can I have one question?
Who is this?
Pat. I have
All
one
right, Pat.
when you split the video and there's a black spot where it's split, that doesn't stop the sound, does it? It just splits it visually?
It does stop the sound too.
It does stop the sound.
Yeah, it depends on what you're talking about. But if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, let me give you a quick demo of what I think you're saying. All right, so let's go to my Camtasia, and you can see my track here.
Yeah.
So I've got audio. And let's say I want to split right there. I can just scrub over until I find the exact spot right there. So I want to split this. And you say I have a little black spot in it?
Well, if you move
Like
it,
that?
but you don't move it.
If I don't move it,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't have a black spot.
Okay. It's just only if you move it.
I think you accidentally nudged it over a smidgen. And what happens then is you did stop the audio. So you're going to hear a hiccup. Which means you just need to butt it back up into it like
But
that.
the purpose of splitting is to make cuts and so on, to edit it.
Yep.
Part, is that it?
Yep.
So I didn't quite understand the splitting.
Yeah. So when you split, you can drag this around and move it to different spots.
I see.
But the reason why we split it is so we can go to a different angle and show the hands or show the overhead camera or show the face, whatever camera we're trying to go to.
So you put in a different angle when you split it, is that it?
Yeah, that's why
have
you
to
split.
it in order to put a new angle?
Yep. And we show exactly how to do that in the tutorial videos, those 4 tutorial videos that Joel and I did.
I'll
Watch
be at
those
them right away.
and just follow them step by step.
Okay. Thanks so much.
You are welcome.
Oh, my room is.
All right. Well, that ends our session for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Let me
Thank you.
remove the spotlight. Does anybody have any last questions?
Thank you so much.
Are you ready
Thank
to make your videos?
Oh, thank you.
All right. We still have some really cool, exciting things coming.
Yes, thank you
All right. Have a good one.
too.